Hi, Virgo, and welcome to your June 2021 monthly forecast. We're going to dive right into it because your ruling planet, Mercury, is retrograde by now. And so I can imagine that things might be a bit chaotic or a little wonky. Just remember, think about what is within your locus of control. Do your best to focus on that because there can be a lot of different moving parts. You're feeling kind of out of whack at this time when your ruling planet is retrograde. Now, for you, Mercury is retrograde in your 10th house of career. The 10th house also rules things like legacy, what we seek to be remembered for, and public recognition. So it is very public facing at the end of the day. There could be a lot of shifts in thinking about your career specifically or what you want to be remembered for. A lot of people from your past, from old careers or from old parts of your trajectory in general, coming back into the fold to remind you of how you think about what you seek to be remembered for. Like, what do you want your legacy to be? And is your current path conducive to that? With the eclipse on the 10th occurring in this 10th house as well, you could expect some shakeups when it comes to all of those 10th house themes I mentioned. Could very well be in your day job, but could also be more overarching public recognition or just the overarching trajectory as well. So if you were thinking about leaving your job, not surprised. This could be the right time. Of course, depends on the full transits and more than anything, astrology removed, whether you think that's the best move for you. But I would just anticipate some wonkiness and also some shakeups when it comes to career and public recognition. That being said, any way in which you are public facing right now is under scrutiny, to be totally honest with you, from your presence on social media or in other ways in which you present yourself to the public, to your career, especially if your career is public facing. Be very mindful of how you communicate in these spaces, in any public facing space, given Mercury is retrograde in your 10th and the eclipse on the 10th is occurring with Mercury Cazimi. Now, you have Venus in Cancer and the Sun in Cancer in the 11th house at different points in the month, all of which to support cultivating long-lasting groups and circles, or your place in those groups and circles. It could be the time to step into some power or prestige into those circles, or to just change up the dynamic a bit in those circles that is most conducive to you living your truth and you living your best life. So also pay attention to how comfortable you are in these groups and circles and if they're serving your best interests, especially in regards to like where you're trying to journey to and get to from a legacy public recognition standpoint. Mars and Leo will be in your 12th, and the 12th house has everything to do with what's hidden, what's buried, what we don't want to deal with, and mental health. And Mars can be a bit inflammatory. So it is very important that you are structuring and penciling in, I mean, literally scheduling mental health breaks, self-care breaks, treat yourself breaks throughout this transit. And that starts on June 11th and is typically about 5 to 6 weeks. So very important that once a week you're scheduling a time to treat yourself or to turn off the computer, turn off or unplug. You can be very wired in. Virgo is a Mercury ruled sign, and find some time to be in your body or in your spirit instead of in your mind. That's going to be so important during this time. So just had a scenery change. Apologies for that, Virgo. Getting back into it, like I mentioned, with Mars in Leo being in your 12th house and Mars representing courage, in addition to things like inflammation and conflict, I will say highlight Mars as courage. And it could really be in your best self to courageously endeavor upon addressing those 12th house themes of all that we keep buried, like trauma, shame, vulnerability, and how that's tied to our mental health at this time. All in all, to say, it seems like it's a big month when it comes to public recognition, when it comes to possible changes in career or in what we seek for our legacy, thinking about like big picture things, which for Virgo is very much about the fine details. So I empower you, or I hope that you're able to think big picture about what you want to be remembered for and make those positive changes.